You know that feeling, right? A nagging headache, a sore muscle after a workout? What's the first thing you reach for? For millions of us, it's a painkiller. But what if I told you that the most common painkillers on the planet have a side effect that we're only just starting to wrap our heads around? I mean, look at these names. You know them. I'll bet you have at least one of them in your medicine cabinet right now. They're all part of this huge family of drugs called NSAIDs, or nonsteroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. And when I say common, I'm not exaggerating. They are literally everywhere. We rely on them for everything, from minor aches to chronic inflammation. They are, without a doubt, a cornerstone of modern medicine. But these trusted everyday drugs, well, they're hiding something. A story that's not playing out where we've been looking for all these years, but somewhere much, much deeper inside our bodies. And that brings us to this really strange medical mystery that's been unfolding. I like to call it the painkiller paradox. For as long as we've been using NSAIDs, the number one concern, the big, scary side effect everyone talked about, was the damage they could do to the stomach. We're talking painful, sometimes even dangerous ulcers. We poured a ton of effort into fixing this. And hey, we got really good at it. As you can see from this chart, stomach problems from NSAIDs are way down. Mission accomplished, right? Well, not exactly. Look at the other trend. While we were protecting the stomach, a new problem was quietly getting worse, further down in the lower gastrointestinal tract, the intestines. We fixed one leak, and another one sprung. And this isn't some tiny little drip. We're talking about a whopping 40%. Today, these intestinal issues account for nearly half of all serious GI complications from NSAIDs. The danger zone has literally moved downstream. This is the big mystery. Why is the intestine suddenly the new battleground for NSAID damage? What piece of the puzzle are we missing? To crack this case, we first have to look at our main weapon in the fight against stomach ulcers. It's a shield that, as it turns out, has a pretty serious flaw. Let me introduce you to proton pump inhibitors, or PPIs for short. These are the drugs doctors often prescribe right alongside NSAIDs. Their job is pretty straightforward. They tell your stomach to produce less acid, which gives your stomach lining a much-needed break. They're a huge reason that first bar on our chart was going down. But here is the wild twist. The very drug that so beautifully protects the stomach can actually make things worse in the intestine. It's like putting armor on your chest only to find out it makes your legs more vulnerable. And listen, this isn't just a fringe theory. The research is so solid that it's led to serious warnings like this one. Enteropathy is just the medical term for a disease of the intestine. So get this, our best defense has become a risk factor. It means if you're taking a PPI to protect your stomach, you might be trading one problem for another. But why? I mean, how could lowering stomach acid possibly hurt your intestine? It doesn't seem to make any sense. The answer lies with a player we haven't even mentioned yet, a secret player. Well, trillions of them actually. It's time to finally unmask the culprit behind this whole paradox. Living inside your gut right now is a massive, bustling city of bacteria, fungus, and viruses. This incredible ecosystem is your gut microbiota, and it is the main character in our story. Now, this community isn't just hanging out. It's working for you. It's so active, so essential for everything from your digestion to your immune system that scientists have actually started calling it a metabolic organ. Seriously, think of it as another vital organ, just like your heart or your lungs. Okay, so here's where it all clicks into place. When you take an NSAID, it doesn't just affect your own cells. It directly messes with this microbial organ, knocking its delicate balance out of whack. That state is called dysbiosis. And this is where it gets crazy. This new, unbalanced microbiota can actually turn around and change how the NSAID works, making it more toxic to your intestine. It's a vicious feedback loop. And that solves our PPI mystery. Remember, PPIs work by lowering stomach acid, but that acid is a huge part of what keeps your gut environment stable. When you change the acidity, you change which bacteria can grow there. So the PPI causes its own kind of dysbiosis, which, when you add an NSAID into the mix, creates the absolute perfect storm for intestinal damage. The shield for the stomach helps create the vulnerability in the intestine. So, now that we understand this incredibly complex dance, the big question is, what do we do about it? How can we protect the entire gut from top to bottom? Well, scientists are exploring some really cool avenues. Some are trying to engineer smarter drugs, like these COX-2 inhibitors that are just gentler on the gut, but they're not a perfect fix.
Another really exciting idea is to manage the gut microbiota directly, maybe with probiotics or even antibiotics to keep things in balance. That's promising, but still very new. Then you have drugs that basically act like a protective coating for the intestine, or others that try to replace key protective substances that NSAIDs wipe out, but those can have their own side effects. So yeah, lots of paths forward, but no silver bullet just yet.
So where does all of this leave us? It means we have to fundamentally change the way we think about even the most common medicines we take. Here's the most important takeaway. It's not a simple two-way street anymore. The safety of a drug isn't just about how it interacts with your body. It's a complex, three-way relationship between the drug, you, and the trillions of microbes that call you home. Your personal microbial signature is a huge part of the equation. And despite all the amazing research, this number is a stark reminder of where we stand right now. 0. That's the number of agents that have been developed to completely and safely prevent these lower intestinal injuries. We've identified the problem, but the perfect solution? It's still out there. Which leads us to one last mind-bending question. If my gut microbiome reacts to a drug differently than yours does that mean the future of safe pain relief isn't about finding one single drug that works for everybody? Is it about finding the right drug that works for your specific microbes? Is the future of medicine truly personal?